The house on Cedarwood Avenue. The Thompson family, Sarah, her husband Mark, and their young daughter Lily, moved into an old Victorian house on Cedarwood Avenue. The house, with its ornate gables and sprawling garden, seemed like the perfect place to start anew after a difficult year. The neighbors were friendly, and the area was idyllic, but something about the house felt off. From the moment they stepped inside, an unsettling energy seemed to pervade the air. Sarah chalked it up to nerves, but Lily, only 5 years old, was immediately wary. "Mommy, I don't like this house," she whispered, clutching her teddy bear. Over the first few days, strange things began to happen. Doors creaked open on their own, cold drafts swept through rooms with no apparent source, and at night, faint whispers echoed through the halls. Mark, ever the skeptic, dismissed it all as the house settling and their imaginations running wild. One evening, while unpacking boxes in the attic, Sarah discovered an old dust-covered journal tucked away in a corner. Its pages were filled with the frantic scribblings of the house's previous owner, a man named Edward Harris. The entries spoke of a malevolent presence in the house, something that fed on fear and despair. According to the journal, Edward had tried to cleanse the house of its dark entity, but his efforts were in vain. The final entry was particularly chilling. "The house is alive. It wants us gone. It wants us dead." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She showed the journal to Mark, who remained skeptical but agreed to be more cautious. They decided to keep the journal a secret from Lily to avoid scaring her. That night, as the family slept, the house seemed to come alive. The temperature plummeted, and the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Sarah woke to the sound of Lily crying. She rushed to her daughter's room and found Lily standing in the middle of the room, pointing at the closet. "There's someone in there?" Lily whimpered. Sarah opened the closet, expecting to find nothing, but instead she was met with a blast of icy air and the overwhelming sense of being watched. She slammed the door shut, her heart pounding. They all ended up sleeping in the master bedroom that night, too afraid to be apart. The following day, Sarah and Mark decided to research the history of the house. They visited the local library and discovered a series of tragic events linked to the property. Families who lived there had met with mysterious accidents and unexplained deaths dating back over a century. It seemed the house had a dark history of violence and death. Desperate to escape, the Thompsons decided to leave immediately. They packed their essentials and rushed to the front door, only to find it wouldn't open. The windows, too, were sealed shut as if the house itself was trapping them inside. Panic set in as they realized they were prisoners in their own home. As night fell, the house grew more sinister. Shadows moved independently of any light source, and the whispers turned into menacing voices taunting them. The family huddled together in the living room, clutching each other in terror. Suddenly the walls began to tremble, and a guttural voice echoed through the house. "You cannot leave. You are mine." The floorboards creaked and groaned as if something was moving beneath them. The lights flickered, then went out, plunging the house into darkness. Mark grabbed a flashlight and shone it around the room, revealing ghastly faces pressed against the walls, their mouths open in silent screams. In a desperate bid to escape, Sarah remembered the journal's mention of an old ritual to appease the spirit. She found the page and hastily recited the incantation, praying it would work. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, the house erupted in a deafening roar, and the spectral faces began to recede. The front door burst open, and the family didn't hesitate. They ran outside, never looking back. They didn't stop until they reached the safety of a neighbor's home. The Thompsons moved away the next day, leaving everything behind. The house on Cedarwood Avenue remains vacant, a dark silhouette against the sky. The townspeople avoid it, knowing the legend all too well. And if you listen closely on a quiet night, you might still hear the whispers of the restless spirits trapped within, waiting for their next victims to move in.